another reading for like, comment, subscribe. Oh my god. Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Lauren and this is Lauren's Library. Today I'm going to be filming my April wrap-up, all the books that I read in the month of April. The first book I read in the month of April was Constanta by S.T. Gibson. This follows a girl by the name of Constanta. Well, that's the name she's given. And we start off with her being transformed into a vampire by Dracula, but he's never named by name inside the book. But I did check the the synopsis, and they do name him by name in the synopsis. So I wasn't crazy if you watched my reading vlog, but Dracula transforms her into a vampire at the beginning of this novel, and we just follow their life together centuries and centuries and centuries. But it's told in a way where she's writing letters to him from someone who has more clarity of what kind of relationship they had, because he was very abusive and manipulative. And if you want more thoughts on this, I did film a reading vlog last week, so you can go and watch that on my channel. I'll make sure to put it somewhere on the screen. But I ended up giving this 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way, I don't think I've ever written a book that used letters as a way of exposition, and I really enjoyed that aspect. And the way that the author illustrated abuse and manipulation was very well done, because our main character, she is very naive when she first runs into Dracula, and we see after centuries of his abuse and manipulation of her becoming aware of the situation she's in, along with these two other vampires that he turns in the novel as well. But yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. The next book I finished in the month of April is Merciless Ones by Namina Forna. This is the second book in the Gilded Ones series. So this one, I can't tell you much of what goes on in this story because that'd be spoiling the first one, but in this one we still follow Decca. I can just tell you my thoughts because I don't know what I can and can't say that wouldn't like ruin the first book. But if you didn't know, the Gilded Ones, I'll tell you the description of that one. The Gilded Ones is a world where women are very oppressed, and they're so they have to go through this blood test once they reach a certain age, and if their blood doesn't run red, like Decca, hers runs gold, they're excommunicated basically. And we follow Decca being tortured by the priests in her village and being rescued by the emperor and being taken somewhere else to train in order to kill these creatures that are terrorizing their land called Death Shrieks. So yeah, that's what the first one is about, but so you'd have to read that one in order for me to tell you what this one is about. But I can tell you that I did not like this one as much as I liked the Gilded Ones. I ended up giving it, I need to open my Goodreads because I don't even remember. I think I gave this 3 stars. Let me double check. But first of all, it took me so long to read this. I started reading this in March, the beginning of March, and I did not finish until April. I gave it 4 stars. But yeah, the reason I gave it 4 stars is a reason I cannot tell, but I can tell you that one of my least favorite writing points was used in this book. One of my least favorite plot points. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I will read the 3rd book to see how the series wraps up. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy this one as much as the Merciless Ones. The next book I read in the month of April is First Comes Light by Alisha. This is the 3rd and final book in the Right Swipe trilogy. In this book we follow Gia, and we meet her in the first book, and we know that she's a social media star. She films beauty videos on YouTube. And we know from the other books in the series that she's been texting this guy that she's never met in person. They've been texting on Instagram. And in this book, we start off with her finally being able to meet him in person. She knows that he just flew into LA, where our story takes place, and he'll be at this certain party for this new TV show he's about to be a part of. And so she goes and meets him. She gets there, and he has no idea who she is. So she finds out that someone has been catfishing her off of his account. And so his name is Dev. That was his name. Dev. He's very intrigued. He's like, wait, what's going on? Why was somebody texting her? And she quotes one of the texts her, and he's like, that was from my script, because he's a Bollywood star, soap opera star back in India, and he's just recently moved to LA. And so he goes and tries to figure out who has had access to his Instagram account, and he finds out who's been catfishing her through his account. So after all that is through, and he goes and explains to her what has happened, they end up getting caught in like this scandal, and they're on all the news sites. Bollywood actors being caught with a beauty guru or whatever. So they end up fake dating throughout this book. That is the trope that we're following in this novel. I really enjoyed this one until the very, this was probably my favorite one out of the series. It is still probably my favorite one, honestly, but it was just the last, 20%, I'm not even sure. There was a really stupid conflict, and I just thought it was ridiculous and pointless. And so that's why I rated this 4 stars and not 5 stars. But I can't tell you what that is because that's a spoiler. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Fake dating is probably my favorite trope in romance reading. This one is a very fun read for me. Okay, the next book I read in the month of April is American Royalty by Tracy Livesey. I don't know how to say her last name. Livesey? Tracy, I apologize. But this book follows Dani. She is an American rapper that goes by the name of Duchess, and she is currently trying to she has a makeup or a skincare brand that she's trying to elevate to the next level and have a big name retailer sell her products. But she's recently in a scandal with this other up-and-coming pop star where people think they have beef. Then we jump to England. We follow a character named Prince Jameson, who is the son of a prince who has passed, and his mother has made it where he doesn't have to be in the limelight. But he gets a call from his grandmother, the queen, and she's like, you have to come here, we have to discuss something. And what she wants him to do is become more of a prominent royal in the monarchy in England. She wants him to host a benefit in honor of his grandfather's passing for I think it was like climate change or something. And so in order to do this, she wants to put on a concert with some big name music stars, and she tells him to choose someone. And so he just off the hand just asks these people in his random pub, and they're like, oh, this rapper in America, Duchess, is really cool. He has no idea who she is. And so he just puts her on the roster for his grandfather's benefit. And so jump back to America. Dani, the scandal she's in with this pop star is really taking a toll on her career. It's making her lose business opportunities. And when she finally gets this invitation to go travel to Britain to perform at this benefit, she accepts it, thinks it's going to be really good for her career. She's performing for the royals, all of that. So she flies to Britain. They get there, they say the cabin that she's supposed to be staying in is under reconstruction or something. So they're putting her in the same in Prince Jameson's, I don't know what you call it, estate. They put her in his estate, and she has like the west wing and he has the east wing, something like that. And they don't get along. She thinks he's very pompous and arrogant, and he thinks she's just this silly American that's in his way. But eventually a romance brews But once the queen gets word of it, she's like, this can't happen. You need to date someone who is of our status, not this lowly American rapper who raps very vulgar words, and she's not appropriate for you to date. You're just like your father, because his father dated like this reality star, something that ultimately led to his demise. And so his grandmother is very against their relationship, and it's just very dramatic, lots of drama. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, lots of drama, scandals, different love triangles, all kinds of stuff happened in this book, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. I don't know what it could have done to give me what I could have given to give. I don't know what the author could have done for me to give it 5 stars. I don't know. I don't remember if I had a problem with anything specifically, but it was probably just something missing that spark in order for me to give it 5 stars. But this is a series. The second book is coming out later this year, so I will be reading that. Let me double check what that book is called, because the cover already came out. I love the cover. It comes out, oh, July 11th. But look at this cover. Can you see it? I love the cover. I love this cover. That's what made me pick it up, because I had never heard of it, but I saw the cover, I think, on Instagram or something, and I was like, what is that? I love the cover, the colors, everything, and her skin, everything. So yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, the next book that I read in the month of April is Looker by Laura Sims. This follows, I don't remember her name. This follows a character. She is a English professor or a history professor. I don't even remember. I read this entire book while I was getting my hair braided. So as you can see, it's very short, so it didn't take me long. She was still braiding when I finished reading this book. But she's lives in this neighborhood where she knows everybody, specifically this neighbor who lives behind a gate in their neighborhood, who is a celebrity. She's an actress, and our main character is kind of obsessed with her. She's always looking at her window. Anytime she puts out, like, you know, you put stuff outside that if nobody picks up, it's gonna go in the trash, she'll go and collect that trash and keep it in her house. She's very obsessed with this woman, and it leads to a lot of wrongs in her life. Like, she's messing up at work, she's messing up in her relationship with her husband. He ends up leaving her. Y'all, it was a lot. Like, that's basically this entire novel. She's just looking. Like, she'll go sit out in front of her little townhome and smoke a cigarette and literally just watch this house and peek through their windows at the bus stop when their lights are on and it's dark outside, and she'll just pretend like she's waiting on a bus or something, and just spying on this family and making up these scenarios in her head of like what's going on inside. And like, it was very strange. I can't tell you too much about it because obviously it's really short, but I did end up giving it 3 stars. Yeah, there is a trigger warning for animal abuse in this book as well, so if that's something you're sensitive to, I wouldn't, you shouldn't read this book because it was very traumatic for me. But yeah, she's just obsessed with this woman, and she does anything and everything that she can to get closer to her, and this woman literally does not know who she is. Yeah, Looker by Laura Sims. The next book I read this month is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This book follows a main character named Rowan. His grandfather has recently passed, and his grandfather is the owner and founder of this, like, a comparable to Disney World. It's like this, I forget, oh, Dreamland, I just thought. He owns like this amusement park called Dreamland that has movies. It's basically Disney World. And so once his grandfather passes, he leaves a will that's saying, oh, in order for you to get your share of Dreamland, you have to complete these tasks. For him and his, I think he has two brothers. And so his, Rowan, our main character, is to become creative director of Dreamland and improve some of the rides or attractions they have at Dreamland. So he takes on this job because he wants his shares to keep it out of the hands. His brothers are trying to do everything they can to keep Dreamland out of the hands of their father, because their father is abusive and an alcoholic. So while he's there, he runs into a worker there named Zara. And Zara is basically like his free spirit. She doesn't like Rowan. She knows her family is like, they have like apartments on the land, Dreamland, for workers to live in, and her family is like, her parents work there, her grandparents work there. It's like, so it's her turn to work there. And so, but she knows all the ins and outs. She was close to Rowan's grandfather, and she knows like, oh, we don't have good health care here because Rowan and his brothers voted against giving us a better health care in order to make more profit and all this other stuff. And so when they run into each other, our two main characters, they don't like each other. Zara ends up submitting an application to become part of the creative directing team, and she gets it, so they're even closer, and they don't like each other, so they're butting heads. And it comes to a point where Zara, for one of her projects for Dreamland, she has to submit like a sketch of her plans for Dreamland, but she doesn't really have the artistic ability, hey Carter, the artistic ability to do so. So Rowan outsources someone to do it for her, and she thinks that there's somebody in like another department that's drawing this for her, but it's actually Rowan. And so they kind of, he's talking to her as this secret worker in another department that's doing these sketches for her, and she doesn't know that she's talking to Rowan. So they start kind of this relationship over text, and where they haven't met in person, but eventually, obviously, they do. She finds out the truth, and they start a relationship. But yeah, and it's just that, him trying to fill in the gaps of his grandfather's death and become a good creative director and improve Dreamland so he can get the shares, him and his brothers can get the shares to keep it out of the hands of their dad. I gave this 3 stars. It wasn't anything that wowed me, is why I gave it 3 stars. It was just a plain story, nothing special. There wasn't anything wrong with it. Oh well, yeah, one thing I do know, it was too long. Like, there was just a lot going on, like too many. They went up to New York, Chicago. It was just a lot, and I was ready for it to be over. So how many pages is this? It's 434 pages. But yeah, I was over it. I didn't want to keep reading, but I did. So yeah, I gave this 3 stars. And this is a series with the other books, I think, follow, well, I know they follow his other brothers and what their tasks were in order to get the shares of Dreamland. I don't think I will. I don't know. Maybe later on. They're not on my. They're not something I want to read anytime soon. Maybe one day later down the road I'll pick them up if I see them. But I'm not going to go out of my way to make sure I read the rest of this series. 3 stars. The next book I read in the month of April is Demon in the Wood by Leigh Bardugo and Dani Pendergast. This is a graphic novel that it's a kind of a prequel. That is a prequel to the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Here's like the art style. It's kind of like a muted color scheme. But this is a prequel following, what's his name? The Darkling from the Shadow and Bone trilogy and the King of Scars duology. He's not in the Six of Crows, but it follows him and his mom trying to avoid being persecuted for being Grisha. If you did not know, Shadow and Bone is a fantasy world. There's a Netflix series out now that I have not finished season 2 of just yet, but it follows this fantasy world where there are people who have magic that are called Grisha. They have different names, but the Darkling and his mom are the only ones with their power, because other people have like wind, heart renders, inferni, like different. And then what was the Coprakai? I don't know how to say that one. But like I said, the Darkling and his mother are the only ones who have this darkness power, where they control darkness. And this is kind of like a prequel of them running and traveling through the Grecian world, Rivka, in order not to be persecuted for having for being Grisha and having their powers. And this was fun. It was a really quick. I read it in like an hour because it is a graphic novel and it's not that long. But yeah, I think I gave this 5 stars. 4 or 5 stars. I need to double check. Why do I not remember what rating I gave these? Because there wasn't anything. Let me see. Come on, Goodreads. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I honestly don't know what it could have done. It was just an easy read that really didn't wow me. So that's why I ended up giving it 4 stars. I don't know what could have been done to make it 5 stars. I don't know. Maybe if this was like a series that she'll continue these prequels of the Darkling, maybe I would enjoy it more and change this rating to a 5 star because the story would continue and I would get more, because that's probably the only thing that I wanted more, because this is just a short snippet of their life before the Shadow and Bone. It's just like a little short story of one village they stop in. So that's probably the only thing that could have been done for me to give it 5 stars, is more to the story. So maybe if she continues writing these little prequels for him, I would give this 5 stars. The last book I read this month for the month of April is Blitz by Alexa Martin. This is the 3rd book in the Intercepted series, where it's a series based on women dating professional football athletes, people in the NFL. And in this one we follow Bryn Sterling, and she owns a bar. We've met her in previous books. She owns like this bar that all of the football wives come and visit, and they're always there. But this follows Bryn, and she is starting to date one of the defensive linemen. His name is Maxwell, and it's just their relationship. This one this is probably my least favorite in the trilogy, in the series so far. I really enjoyed both of the other 2 books. I've given 5 stars, and I gave this one 3 stars. I did not enjoy this at all. Well, I enjoyed it, but it was just fine. Like, I was like, it was like if this was a TV show, this would be like a filler episode. Like, nothing really happened. One thing I enjoy about the previous books in this series is the drama. Like, it's so much drama. I've compared it to The Game, the TV show The Game, with Tia Mowry. But yeah, this one just was very bland. Like, the drama didn't come until like the very end of the book, and I just thought it was very ridiculous and so stupid and out of character, and I was just like, why are we doing this? And so I gave this 3 stars. So those are all the books that I read for the month of April. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed listening to me talk about everything I read this month, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!